and somebody who cares about...
a competent journalist who doesn't know when you're choosing yes or no or what the words up to mean. Okay.
I'm not playing this game, Sonny. All right? I'm just giving you some good advice. You can either take it and act on it and benefit from it, or you can keep your head stuck in the sand. You think you're so bloody noble, don't you? And yet here you are, picking out bits of information that's going to frighten the horses, and the only reason you're doing it, quite frankly, is because you're not absolutely sure of any of your facts, so the fictions that you pick are the most spectacular ones.
Which facts aren't we sure of?
We've been through that. Go back to your website.
Name me a fact that we're not sure of.
We've done this.
Name me one.
We've done this. I'm bored now.
Name me one. If there's so many of them, just pick one.
Well, how many have I already pointed out to you? Were you listening?
Yes, I was.
And which ones have I pointed? Which ones have I pointed out?
Well, you claim that
when you present information to people. I could be charging you for this, mate.
Do you want an answer?
No,
do you want an answer or not?
No, I don't. You should be listening rather than talking.
You ask a question, you don't want an answer to it. Then
you should be listening to me.
Why are you asking questions you don't want answers to? I did listen to you, and then I tried to answer your question, and then you interrupted me. You asked me which facts you gave, and I started answering you, and then you interrupted me before you let me finish my answer. I don't know why you do that. If you don't want to answer, don't ask a question.
Look, son, we're talking about the future of... Yeah, it's because you're boring. We're talking about the future of the planet here, and here you are arguing the toss. Don't you think that there's
because you're being aggressive and calling me Sonny and things like that and patronising me. It's, you're trying to get a rise out of me. It's really cheap. You think you're a competent journalist and you use patronising terms like that, trying to get a cheap rise? You want to talk about being tabloid?
Well, you called me rude, and I just care about the planet, and I care about children. I care about people being manipulated, and I believe that I've proved that the very first page I went to on your website, full of hope that this was going to be the future of the planet, and I was going to be able to sign up and go happy clappy with you, and I find out that you are actually farting around, my boy. Farting around with information.
Your boy, not that you're patronising at all. Go on.
React.
Just pleased to be your boy here.
How old are you?
Well, I'm 37.
Well, at your age.
PlayRadioUK.com. Just great music.
The sort of people we want to respond to this commercial will only be interested in one fact. So here it is. £60,000 a year. Cue the money music. You see, we only want greedy people to apply to be telesales agents for us. People that won't care about the fact that no experience is necessary and that you'll be selling the newest, hottest product in TV. No, greedy people are only interested in on-target earnings of £60,000 a year. Greed is good. To find out more, call Play TV UK Limited on 08702 432 961.
PlayRadioUK.com. Just great music. Just great music. PlayRadioUK.com. Just great music. Warning, the show you're about to listen to may contain strong language and the content might offend. Tommy and Duncan, distinctively distasteful on Play Radio UK.
Well, boy.
Sonny is young enough to be my son. What I said to him is true. I went to the website full of hope because I always believe that the next person I meet might be a knight in shining armour or Jesus. Yeah. And I thought these kids are, they're barking up the right tree. Fantastic. Went to the website and I was so disappointed. They haven't spell checked it.
That's pretty poor. That is really. I mean, even the most basic of website builder spell checks things for you.
Yeah, I mean, like where there should be an apostrophe on the website. I nearly said apostrophe then. In the word for Earth's history, right? There's an apostrophe between the H and the S. And what it actually reads on the website is the Earth, A with a diphthong over it, Euro, TM, history. And that's on the website.
You make a good point.
You make yourself look a fool.
Well, because your credibility is damaged before you even start.
Exactly.
And he didn't want to hear that.
So I checked out, I thought, bloody hell, 6 degrees centigrade, it's going to rise. When? And it's not here. So I had to read the bloody United Nations Intergovernmental Panel Report on Climate Change, 18 pages this afternoon. and found out that they had simply been very selective and chosen the most frightening figures with May. And they stick May in there. It's like allegedly on Have I Got News for You, isn't it? Yeah. May rise 100 degrees centigrade before November. It may. It may. And then all the little fish and birds will die. Oh, and so will you. Okay.
Listen, we got some chat room activities. Stuart, this is your. We got a lot of stuff happening.
There's a lot
here.
of people.
Do you want to just pick out the? Well, go for it. Just
shall we say? Duncan wouldn't have bothered asking for the facts. He would have just said, "You mentalist." I think they're referring back to the Riley Martin thing again.
They're probably right.
Jonathan Shaw says he wishes there were more calls like that. Gary says he wished that there was more calls like that on the BBC that would end with the line, "Why don't you act your age?" and then hang up. Thought that was brilliant.
I'd like Paxman to do that. Why did you act your age?
Yeah, that's great. Jay sent Duncan last week, Tommy this week. Aren't you glad they're both on our side? Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Good, thank you very much.
London Calling says, I wouldn't mind the temperature rising. It isn't pretty cold in London this evening.
No.
Well, these temperature changes that they're talking about anyway, having read this report, I'm not going to bore you with it, but I will say this, that whilst there are concerns about the climate, of course, there are concerns about loads of things, but there are concerns about the climate. But if the temperature changes by 1.1 degrees centigrade, that is the difference in the mean temperature between Eastbourne and Guildford. Over the next 100 years, this means, that Guildford will end up, in 100 years' time, having the same weather as Eastbourne. Frightened? You're frightened? Okay. And London, right, will be having to put up with the horrors of what Guildford is experiencing at the moment.
Oh, no.
Nasty, and Nottingham will know what it's like to be London. And that is what, we're talking about.
Right.
I think it's a good excuse for them to have a party, have some beers, smoke some weed, and feel like they're doing something useful, which is a magnificent feeling.
It is, and it's a good excuse for a ruck as well.
And a ruck.
Let's be honest. Because didn't he say, what was that boy's name?
Gary.
Of course it was. Didn't Gary say that the last he heard they were surrounding the BA building?
Yes.
No, the BAA building.
Oh, BAA building.
Yeah, because... Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
No, but good luck to them because they are. I mean, they're doing more than we are. Have you protested anything, Duncan? Have you ever gone on a march?
Yeah, I went on a march.
Did you? Good for you, boy. Yeah. What did you march for?
I marched for my local hospital.
Good for you.
Yeah,
is it still there?
Yeah, at the moment.
Because
we carry on marching. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're a recent protester. Yeah,
excellent. I'll tell you, everyone's a protest. You've not lived unless you protested in your life.
You've got to protest once, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's very interesting because it's interesting to actually march with policemen and policewomen as well because they have the...
You're marching with the police?
Well, they obviously escort the march.
Yes.
And if you're like me, you start having a conversation going, this is great, this, isn't it? Eh? Marching to save the hospital. Yes, well, I thought, no. And it just goes on. And then there is a moment when you actually get to your end destination that their tone and demeanour turns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they start
saying, and just watch it.
Just watch it, yeah.
You ever been on a protest, Stuart? For
no, not at all.
Oh, you haven't lived. Protest.
Anybody else? Anybody else ever been on a...
No, I'm the guy that likes to go and antagonise the people who are protesting.
Did what?
I considered it once.
Consider going.
For what? What did you consider?
Legalisation of weed.
Excellent.
Years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, but you would have started and after about 5 minutes, I'll run out of Rizzlers.
Well, I used to work. Not work. It's not work. I used to be the Greenpeace spokesperson on whales and dolphins because I used to be a dolphin trainer in Brighton. And so, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And they rang me up one day and they said, we're going to do a protest against the Japanese because they keep killing minke whales. And I said, OK. They said, what we're going to do is we're going to march to the offices of the Japanese airline, JAL, and we're going to sit down in the foyer and cause a hoo-ha. And hopefully the press will come. So I said, OK. They said, and we're going to have you, and I was doing Saturday morning telly at the time, so I was vaguely sort of a C-list celebrity. They said, and also Andrew Sachs. I said, remind me? They said, Manuel. So I said, OK. So I said, OK. So we met at Greenpeace's headquarters, which was round the corner from Jow.